There we go. We're live there. And we'd like to thank Tom Plummer for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. A lot going on this past weekend. And boy, a big shout out to everyone over at the Back to School Bash, Santana's, and Centerpoint Dental, and also the McDowells. For that event, just an awesome event. And then RV&3 Bubba Run yesterday, another great time. So thank you to everyone in the community that makes Payson special. And we have one of those individuals in here this morning, Mr. Hunter Barr. Good morning, Hunter.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. And he is the area director for Young Life. And we're going to be talking about Young Life, the program, but also a fundraiser they have coming up Friday, September 13th, a golf tournament fundraiser at the Rim Golf Club. And there's still time to get signed up for this, right?
Yeah, so we are lucky to be able to host our golf tournament at the Rim Club, and they actually give us a lot of spots.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They gave us 100 spots last year, and then we have 120 spots this year.
Oh, great.
And all the money that comes from the golf goes almost back to the golfer. We do 18 holes, so you get to play all 18 holes at the Rim Club. You get lunch. We have a raffle that you get raffle tickets when you sign up, and it's a fun day of golf. A lot of people hear the Rim Club, oh, I don't want to go and embarrass myself, but really it's a fun time. And you know, my family goes out there and golfs, and you know, they're not the best golfers, and they have a really great time. And yeah, I mean that, Dad. You're not a very good golfer.
Yeah, I was just about to say, wait, Les gets out there, your dad gets out there.
My uncles and my brother, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have a good time. So Luke, he gets out there too?
Luke gets out there, gets to play he's played in almost every one of them, I think, if not all of them. And then
nice.
my dad and his brothers come up and they have a good time. Yeah.
Hey, that's great. Again, Friday, September 13th is when the golf tournament takes place. It's a 4-person scramble, $325 per player. You get golf, lunch, prizes, there's raffles, 7:30 a.m. registration, 9 a.m. shotgun start. And for people to sign up, what is the easiest way for them to get registered?
They can register online, and I can release that information publicly. However, I'd like to say this whole thing, but I don't actually know how to, is that a forward slash or a backward slash? You know, but
what we'll do is put a picture of this up and online.
But also, they can get a hold of me directly. They can reach me at my email address, hunterbar56@yahoo.com, or you can call me. However, I'm not going to read off my phone number.
Hey, no.
I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry.
You're not. No, and on Facebook, is there a Young Life Facebook page?
We do have a Young Life Facebook page. You can look up Payson Young Life on Facebook. You can look us up on Instagram. You can direct message any of those. You can also look me up on there. I don't think I have a private account, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of me. But yeah, it's open to anybody who would like to come. It is at the Rim Golf Club, and I think they have a dress code, which I think it's a collared shirt and some sort of like a chino short or pants.
Yeah.
But
you have to wear pants.
I think you have to wear pants. It is not a clothing optional golf tournament.
No.
However, it is a very fun time, and it's all of the proceeds that we gather go to Young Life. And we have some really awesome sponsors. MHA Foundation has sponsored for the past 3 years, and Charles Schwab has sponsored every year that we've done the golf tournament. And last year we had even the Earnhardt family sponsored a hole and came up with us, and sent some golfers up. So we're looking forward to raising money to help prolong our program here in town. One of the cool things about Young Life is that Young Life is geared towards kids that may not have a community in the town. It's a Christian organization geared towards telling kids about Jesus, but a lot of kids don't actually hear about Jesus from church. They'll probably hear it when they go to college or after they leave the house. Or this is just a way for us to outreach to kids that don't have those normal avenues that kids hear about Jesus. And so, well, our goal is to tell kids about Jesus and how he can change their life.
And so, how long have you been area director or involved with Young Life here in Payson?
I became the area director in 2018, April, so 7 years is coming up. And we started off of a committee. A committee was started and money was fundraised, and then they looked for an area director. And the funny thing about that is they looked for an area director for 2 years and didn't have any applicants who followed through with the process. And I stumbled upon it. Somebody from the community called me and said, "Hey, you should probably look into this." And I was flattered by that, and it was very nice of them to think of me, but I talked myself out of that application process. And then the next month I said, I'm going to go to the committee meeting because I think I should be involved in this in some way. I've been helping out with youth in town since I was a youth. And I went to that next meeting, and one of the committee members said, "You should really look into this. You should really pursue this." And so I went home and almost talked myself out of the application process again, but I filled it out online, and I got the job 4 months later. And normally it's a longer process. Normally they hire in the fall, but I got hired in April 9th. We had a banquet in May, and I took kids at the end of May to camp. And so we've been running and gunning since I got hired as a full ministry. And COVID really hit us really hard, and it stopped us completely in our tracks, but we actually broke the law, the 10-person law, for about a year and a half. We had way too many kids coming, so we had to meet outside, and that was really a blessing to know that we were doing the right thing, despite all of the hardships of everything slowing down, things shutting down completely, and kids having really nothing to do for the last 6 months of their 2020 semester, last 3 months, I guess. But what we've always tried to do is create an opportunity for kids to stay out of trouble. And we've always tried to create a place that's safe for kids to hang out. And I think in today's day and age, kids are concerned about their safety, and they are concerned about having fun, which, I mean, aren't we all? And so we want to create fun things for kids to do. We want to tell them about Jesus, but also on that note, with Young Life, we don't stop talking to kids just because they say no, if they don't want to know about Jesus. The whole point is to have a relationship and give a community for kids to be a part of. And so
and that's important because I think it doesn't matter if you're a young person, a youth, or adult, you always want to have relationships with people. You want to feel like you fit in, like there's people that care about you, that want to be around you, want to hang out with you, because being isolated, being by yourself, for the majority of people, vast majority of people, it's not fun. You want that connection. So with young people, it can be hard, sometimes, and feeling feeling accepted and not like they're being judged, or they have to be a certain way, act a certain way, do certain things.
Well, and it's really, I think it's really hard to find your way in a small town. Even as an adult, people remember everything, and people hear everything really quick. And so whether it's the truth or not, kids are under a lot of pressure to be everything for everyone,
Uh-huh.
or to try not to be the thing that everybody thinks they are.
Mhm.
And I know that's an overgeneralization of being a kid, but growing up in this town, you know, you kind of see that.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful town, and we have a great community, but the crux of growing up in a small town is you either feel like you have to be someone for everybody,
Mhm.
or you feel like you can't be the person that you want to be.
Mhm.
And that's, like I said, an overgeneralization. Maybe not everybody felt that way.
Yeah.
But that's the overgeneralization of life is sort of where we lose the people on the outside. And one of Young Life's big pushes is that we reach the furthest out kid.
Mhm.
And there's kids out there that they just want to have somebody to care about them,
Mhm.
and they want to have belonging.
Mhm.
They want to be known by someone, and that's sort of hard in a small town where everybody already knows each other. But that deeper involvement, that relationship building, that community belonging, that really helps a kid develop.
Mhm.
And whether a kid finds that in Young Life or FCA
Mhm.
or their football team, they need to feel belonged somewhere. Belonged was
Belonged. I was like,
belonged. Yeah. Hey.
Like they belong.
They need to feel that belonging, and
Yeah.
they need to feel wanted
Mhm.
in some way, shape, or form. And us as a community, I think we are creating more avenues, especially in the last 10 years. There's a lot more ways for kids to be involved in something. I think a lot of that revolves around programming.
Mhm.
I think kids are over-programmed in some ways,
Mhm.
and not always do kids find, they don't find that loving relationship with people in general through programs. I think they find it in relationships.
Mhm.
And we're responsible for nurturing good relationships in our community.
Mhm.
And we're responsible for growing up the next generation to value one another. Because if you look at the world today, you kind of see how people don't really understand how much we really belong to one another and need one another.
Mhm.
And so, but that's the Hunter Barr philosophy. That's what I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great because I think in Young Life, what are the ages or?
Good question. Young Life is directed towards high school kids.
Okay.
Wildlife, which we are starting this semester, is directed towards middle school kids.
Wildlife?
Wildlife. Yeah.
They are a little bit like wildlife.
Well, we all kind of are, but middle schoolers definitely embrace it.
They embrace it.
They have their own language, and that's okay. But we are starting Wildlife, and myself and Ellie Hubbard.
Mhm.
Ellie Hubbard is part-time with Young Life with me, and she is going to be heading up the middle school program, which is called Wildlife.
That's great. So now, Young Life is for high school. How about out of high school, or?
That is a goal.
That's a goal, okay.
There is Young Life at every major college in Arizona.
Gotcha.
NAU, U of A,
Yeah.
ASU, GCU, ACU. Most of the universities have a Young Life director,
Mm-hmm.
and we just call it Young Life College.
Okay.
The goal is to eventually have enough need in Payson for Young Life College.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right now, I've been working with a couple of pastors to have young adult groups,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that's a big need in Payson.
Yeah.
People between the ages of 18 and 30 really have a hard time finding, like, especially if you come from out of town. It's hard to connect.
Yeah, because if you're born and raised here, now you were born and raised in Payson, right?
Yeah.
Or if you move here and you're a younger age and you've been going to school since elementary school, you build those relationships, you have those friendships. But if you move here as a young 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And it is a lot harder. And there really aren't, outside of churches, I don't think maybe, like, groups where, young people, or places. I think, seeing some places pop up, Common Grounds has been around for a bit, and you see, some younger people hanging in there. Noli's now, people hanging out there.
Coffee shops have become the social hub of our next generations. It's sort of hard, unless you're at the community college. You're not, which I mean, even at the community college, you're more apt to run into older people. But the ability to make connections in those age groups is a little hard, few and far between, unless you're going to coffee shops or mucks or something like that. But creating that community in college age kids is a goal. Another goal of ours is to open up our Young Life has a ministry called Capernaum, and it's about helping kids with disabilities, whether it's they're on the spectrum, or they are quadriplegic, or you name a social disability or a physical disability. It's geared towards kids who are the furthest out in that aspect, and so it's a home for kids who have special needs, whether that's physical or mental, and we want to push towards starting that within the next year. And what that would look like is basically Young Life would then become inclusive. It's not exclusive right now, but we would have staff with us here in Payson that would include and work towards a better inclusion of kids with disabilities in our Young Life community, socially. Take them to camp, take them with us to. The goal is to not look at them as a different group, but to include them in everything.
And I know there's great the Special Olympics program here in Payson. Is just great, a great program, and they're also with the high school. I know recently I've seen programs where, and I think it is part of the Special Olympics, where there's I don't want to say a coach, but partner, or like a partner, a high school student that partners with someone that participates in Special Olympics, and they'll be at basketball games or different sporting events, and even get to showcase. I know basketball. Remember, they did a little, like one-on-one or two-on-two, playing basketball with some of the Special Olympic participants and their coaches. I think they do that with bowling, basketball, and a couple other.
My wife and her sister did that with the track and field.
That's what I was thinking too. Track and field.
It's been a system for a long time. And the goal is, in some way, to start reaching for that. Whether that's possible in the next year or the next two, starting that. Young Life really has a heart for kids, and Capernaum. The cool thing about Capernaum is it goes to ages 22. And so that's the ability to include more kids and include more in our community, period, not the Young Life community, in the Payson community. And I think growing those I hate saying the same word over and over again, but that community, that group, within our social awareness of Payson, and breaking down boundaries, because a lot of the time we just don't know how to act.
Well, and it is a case where even in a small community and in a town where you see people quite often, and there's that ability to do things together, there are walls that are up, or boundaries created, or just things that are put in place, for different reasons,
Yeah.
and that keep us from really interacting,
Yeah.
as like we should, or as much as we could.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. That's where when you see the different organizations and all the events that are done and opportunities for people to come together, it's great to see that.
Yeah.
And I think organizations like Young Life, a lot of other nonprofits out there play a big part in bringing the community together. Bringing the community together and giving us those opportunities to socialize, to work together, to play together, whatever it is, whatever the event is, or accomplish something together.
Yeah.
Where we're trying to, get something accomplished. Hey, here we go. We're working together to do that. Our different groups in town, really are the main facilitators of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and growing up, watching different organizations and different churches be involved in our community has really set me up well for my position, what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But Beyond Limits is a ministry directed towards special needs, and it has no age limit, and it's out of what was the Crossroads Church, but it's shared as a ministry now in Payson towards people with special needs, and that's been around for quite a long time now, and basically Young Life would just try and meet kids in high school, and then in middle school, and if we had college program in college, and make that a possibility for not just kids that go to church, but kids that maybe have special needs and haven't heard about Jesus. And so the initiative would be, like I said, inclusion, but also making it to where it's sometimes when you're told something in a different scope, like I was in the military. If I use all of the lingo and the jargon and the abbreviations from the Army, talking to someone who's drilling a well, we're not going to see eye to eye. And so
you mean if you start sharing about your MOS and the PCSs that you did and your TDYs,
my ETS data, my DD-214.
People are like, wait, what?
But if I can figure out a way to communicate to someone in their language, and Young Life is a form of trying to communicate to the youth in their language. One of the founder, his slogan was, it's a sin to bore kids with the gospel. And the point is not that you need to water down the message, but to make it to where kids can actually engage. And as you can see today, like our kids have a shorter attention span. I have a short attention span. I'm 30 and I'm...
You're doing good though. It's been 25 minutes.
It's been 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
Wow.
I know. I mean, you're doing great, Hunter.
but kids are remarkable nowadays. Their attention span, they need to be engaged by something. And if you can do that while you're trying to get your message across, you've succeeded. And the goal is to reach kids and engage them and get them to understand without taking up an hour of their day. You can play a game, you can sing some songs, and you can talk for 10, 15 minutes and get your point across. And eventually, you will have gained enough trust from them that they will hear what you're talking about. It might take a long time, and it may not even be you who reaches them, but the point is to get them to understand that people do care about them. And what they want to tell them is important.
Again, talking with Hunter Barr, the area director for Young Life, and their annual golf tournament fundraiser is coming up. It's Friday, September 13th at the KRIM Golf Club, and I posted the sign-up sheet, or this flyer, not a sign-up sheet, but the flyer, on our Facebook page.
Cool.
So took a picture of that, posted it, and there's a QR code where you can just, go on that, put your camera on that, and it'll take you to
Straight
the
to it.
online registration where you can get signed up, and sponsorship opportunities as well, right?
Yep. If you're an individual who cares enough to want to be a hole sponsor, we will have your name on a hole. If you are a business, we have multiple tiers, and we have lots of opportunity. Our goal is to raise $60,000 off the golf tournament this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Last year we did 50, so that's not too drastic of a different number.
Not too shabby.
Not too
Not too
shabby.
shabby. And so that money, again, used for the program to for camps.
For camps, our normal programming, taking kids to lunch, getting coffee with donors, and trying to get build that community, and more than just for kids, but also our community in general. So.
Yeah, and it's great, and wow, it has on the flyer here, thanks for sending over 200 Payson area kids to camp.
Yeah.
So that's big.
Yeah.
I mean, that many kids getting an opportunity to go to camp, and camp is great because it gets them out of kind of their environment, gets them out of town, out of their home, and to where they can just focus on what is being shared with them at camp, all the activities, just everything, and kind of be immersed in that experience.
It's eye-opening to see kids go, I don't even want my phone. Like, take my phone, I don't want it.
There you go.
We get back on the van, because we take their phones at the beginning of the week for summer camp.
Yeah.
And by the middle of the week, they're like, I haven't even thought about my phone.
Wow, that's great.
Like, I don't even want it. And teaching them, they're relearning to live in the present.
Yeah.
And they're relearning how to engage with one another without having the black mirror in front of their face,
You need to, we need to get some adults and to camp like that.
Sometimes I need it, honestly. There's times where I lock in, and you could have thought I was a 4-year-old watching Frozen or something. I can't take my eyes off of it. I have to put it on the counter and walk away.
If I see that, I'll just like slap it out of your hand. If I see you somewhere and you're just like, you're drooling a little bit, staring at your phone, I'm just gonna slap it.
Just smack it out of my
Smack
hands.
it right out of your hand. Be like, oh,
I give you permission to assault me in public if I have my phone in front of my face.
If you're drooling.
Yeah,
if you're
if I'm
drooling.
drooling.
If you're just like, just completely zoned out. Obviously not if you're, texting somebody.
Or on an important phone call.
Yeah, I won't do that. No, it's so true. I know, talking with Daniel Newberry, he was in, and we were talking about what is the camp that they've done here in town.
Yes, the weekend.
The weekend.
Yes.
The weekend. And, one of the themes, connections, or being connected, relationships, and being able to, have that relationship with God, and relationships, and I forget exactly, but it was interesting because phones, and the disconnect, being connected, that's what it was, connected, and how, so many of us, if we're connected to our phones so many hours a day, we're just connected, we're not connected really with other people.
Right.
We might be texting them, we might be, Snapchatting back and forth, whatever.
Right.
There is that communication, but it's so, it isn't very significant where we don't have the connection, to people.
Right.
And how does that affect our connection to God? And, is it superficial or just real, watered down, like our connections over the phone? And so it was very interesting, talking about that. And so that's great to hear. I mean, kids that, they turn over their phone and they're not even missing it.
Yeah, well, some of them go through a withdrawal process of like, I wonder who sent me a Snapchat.
Yeah.
Or I wonder who's got streaks longer than I do on there, or some sort of technological
streaks?
thing.
I don't even know what is.
I could go into it, but I don't think we have enough time.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But that's because it's already wow. That's for another show.
Yeah. But kids Kids re-engaging with life is
Yeah.
really what captivates them at camp. And then they get to hear the gospel without being muddled by the distraction of their phone.
Mm-hmm. No, that is great.
Yeah.
So again, there's still space
Yep.
to get signed up for the Young Life Golf Tournament that's happening Friday, September 13th. And it's at the Rim Club right here in Payson. And we'll put that out, other places. Check out the Young Life Facebook page, Young Life Payson, Instagram. You can find it, different places. Also, contact information is there for Hunter. You can message him, get in touch with him, get signed up, and for a great cause. And it's sort of a great cause helping to send Payson area kids to camp.
Yeah.
So to hear the gospel, to get closer with God and have that relationship with Jesus. So that's amazing. It's a good thing, and you can be part of it.
Yep.
Hey, well, thank you so much for coming on, Hunter.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for making the time for me.
Hey, always, anytime, anytime. Hey, well, thank you to One Tom Plumber for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. And thank you to everyone listening and watching this morning. Hope you have a wonderful day and a great week. Time to get back to the music with some Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Doobie Brothers, Journey. Oh yeah, what a lineup,
What a
right?
lineup.
Come on, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
With this morning's KRIM weather forecast for Payson and surrounding areas.
Thank you guys. See you later.